What's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today we're going to do a full review. I'm going to give you a little peek into the new arena shooter called Reflex Arena. This just launched here March 9th, 2017, and it's been in early access for quite a little bit here. And in fact, I actually did a live first impression back when it was first launching in early access, and I thought it was really interesting, and I actually overall just was pretty freaking positive, and I even had some people, teach me how to play the game and, show me the overhead, the skill ceiling of everything about this game. And of course, I realized that I sucked and I was going to continue to suck, but anyways, I still enjoyed my stay nonetheless, even though it was just for a little bit. I peeked in and out every once in a while through early access, and in fact, I was just peeking back the other day. I didn't even realize it was going to launch today. So yeah, just the other day, I was doing a video, getting some, some clips for an editorial, and then boom, here we are. It just launched, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Now that it's, on the tip of my tongue, let's just spit it out, how I really feel about Reflex Arena. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, you should know that I'm incredibly opinionated, and I really kind of try to speak for the average gamer. I try to talk to people as if, they're trying to find new experiences. So if you're looking for a new, interesting game, then I try to tell you what is interesting about the game and some misconceptions that you might have, from the game's marketing. So immediately, let's go to the game's marketing. Let's go to the image, the aesthetic, the overall appeal to the game, and dissect that and, explain what the game really is going to feel like and be like for the average gamer. But real quick, this is a niche game. It's not actually designed for the average gamer. But anyways, that's my perspective. Let's go. So, on the Steam page here, it says Reflex is a competitive arena FPS that combines modern tech with the speed, precision, and freedom of a 90s shooter. If you sunk countless hours into the Quake or Unreal series, Reflex will feel like a welcome return to the old-school shooter feel. And so that's what it's saying there. It's saying, yes, we played these amazing games just like you did, and we want that sort of same thing, and yeah, that's what we're making. What it's kind of maybe not so clear is that it is literally a copy game. This is kind of a copycat game. Now, aesthetically, it might look different. I mean, it has a different name, Reflex Arena, but all in all, it's just a very safe, very, and in my opinion, unattractive art style and aesthetic, and mechanically, it's apparently emulating a mod that was created for Quake, which was supposed to give it a little bit higher skill ceiling with some of the strafe jumping, and, this game, it does have a lot of skill involved with its jumping mechanics. You can actually double jump off stairs and ledges, and you have all this crazy momentum stuff, and yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. I'll admit it. However, it's like there are other games that kind of do similar things or the exact same things, and a lot of those are free to play. And they have they have campaign, that it's co-op, that it can actually be created. You can actually create levels and stuff like that. So Reflex, what it has to kind of compete with games like that, because this genre it does tend to have a lot of custom maps and stuff like that. Unreal Tournament has that too. Reflex has it. Reflex has arena creation, but it doesn't have campaign creation. And I don't really know if it has true mod support, but it does have the Steam Workshop support. So if somebody knows if it has mod support, please let me know. So far, I think that the game lacks a great deal of creativity overall. And I mean, you can make maps, and I even got to play some kind of fun mini games. If you guys have played, Halo Forge, if you've ever played Far Cry, that some people, instead of making hardcore competitive maps, even in hardcore competitive games, people like to make fun mini games and, weird stuff like that. So Reflex, it is possible, but it's nowhere near the potential of something like Halo Forge. This game is really, honestly, kind of constrained, artistically, in my opinion, as well as mechanically. It's just, we've seen pretty much all these weapons. They react, very comfortably, I guess you can say. They're very straightforward, and that's kind of a staple of the genre, sort of. Unreal Tournament was the only ones that really ever tried to do something pretty freaking weird. But Quake games or Quake-style games, normally, the weapons are extremely straightforward, So Reflex is just like that. You should actually, if you've ever played Quake, or maybe a little bit of Unreal, then you'll jump into Reflex, and you should, it should just be a natural reflex to, how to play this game. Still, high skill ceiling, and there is some very minute, unique things about the game, But overall, for the average person, even the average arena shooter, player, this game is going to kind of just be another arena shooter, which really sucks because the arena shooter genre as a whole, and if we are allowed to talk about that here in this review, is not doing that great. It's incredibly niche, and it's really it's kind of like collapsing in on itself because of the, I don't know, there's this appeal that you don't want new players. You don't want a growing community. You just want to satiate and satisfy, this hardcore competitive crowd, which is actually not really that competitive. Now, the game might be balanced, it might be fair, and it might have a high skill ceiling, but the term competitive kind of has a double meaning there. You need a high population, you need those tournaments, you need that scene for it to truly be competitive. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of people. No, not even a bunch of people. It's a handful of people, and I'm talking about like 2 people playing, in a day. Like, it's very, very low population. Just circle jerking. Everybody just circle jerking each other in this game. Now that sounds very harsh. Sky, you're trying to be a professional reviewer. Why are you talking like that? Well, that's because this game is failing. And while it has very positive reviews, almost at 1,000 reviews now, since I've played since early access to now, and I see some of the games that are coming out, and I've seen the other arena shooters and games in a very similar genre that have released lately, and how they've completely failed, I really don't see a reason why Reflex won't fail. And maybe in a sense it's not failing because it's created and designed to play with a small population. It's catering toward that extremely targeted audience. So in a way, maybe it's not failing. Okay, maybe the developers are accomplishing their goals. But for the average gamer, there's not really too much reason to pass your gaze over this game, let alone actually try it for about $10. It's $10, and there are microtransactions. I believe they're just cosmetic though. That range from what I see right now, it's like $3. You got one that's like $50. You have 2 that's $50. There's cosmetics in this game. There is a monetization, but I mean, it does offer a lot. You do have your map makers, and you do have like the really tight physics and stuff, and this could be a really fun land game. Don't get me wrong. And I do want to kind of talk about that sort of subject there real quick. Is that whenever you play certain competitive games like 1v1 RTSs, fighting games, and yes, arena shooters, these games are designed for that small population to play as 1v1 games. So it's totally fine if this game doesn't truly, blow up, explode, succeed, doesn't have a resurgence of the arena shooter genre. That's okay, because the people who are playing it now are fine with playing the 1 or 2 people every other day. They're fine with that, And that it kind of does work. The maps are designed, the game modes are designed, not around team-based combat, not even for like massive free-for-all and weird stuff like that. It's really based around 1v1s. That's what it is. So that's why I'm kind of confused why they added in like this map maker to the extent that it did without actually fine-tuning some other things or adding in more creative things. And so far the maps that I've played as well, if I'm allowed to review those, have not really instilled like a sense of awe like whenever I played Quake. Like when I played Quake Live, I don't know, man, all those maps just kind of were, they were just really fun. I had a lot of fun playing that game, where in Reflex Arena, I think there was like one map that I genuinely kind of enjoyed, and everything else was just pretty weird. And maybe that's just because I'm not a master of its movement controls yet, which is totally possible. I don't know how to really move through these maps, but I wasn't feeling it. And I guess you can say, well, get good, scrub. Okay, well, the vast majority of people are not even going to ever be able to play this game at all, in the least. Like, they just simply will not actually be able to play Reflex. Until you can master those movement controls, you're not really playing the game. Oh yeah, and a note about the audio of the game. Oftentimes you are going to hear peaking, which if you don't know what peaking is, this is peaking. And so yeah, you're going to hear that a lot. The overall quality of the sound effects they sound worse than royalty free in a lot of instances. They just don't sound that great. And in a competitive game like this, where having 3D audio is so important, I cannot really tell where people are, what's really happening. I mean, sometimes I can kind of tell that they might be around the corner, but then it turns out that they were actually above me. They jumped around and then I'm gibbed. So I don't know. All in all, the quality of the audio isn't that great. And if you actually compare and contrast the graphics from early access to now, it seems like now the graphics are less clean, less colorful, and a little more noisy, which, sometimes that's like, yeah, it's more details, but is it really better for this kind of game? In my opinion, I feel like the game looked much better, was a lot easier to sort of digest, my eyeballs, to feed my eyeballs with the simpler and more colorful, more clear and concise graphics of the early access than it is now. I feel like there's a lot more aliasing issues, and the lighting just doesn't seem as sexy or good, and for a competitive game, I'd just rather have less noise overall, unless we're going to go full Quake or full Doom or something like that, where it's just overall way more character and color and stuff, but this game is just, I don't know, I feel it's actually worse than early access in a number of different ways, which is really tragic. Yeah, so I guess you could say this review is kind of coming from a newish player, but I do play a lot of different arena shooters, and I'm excited for new ones. I played Toxic, and like I said, I bought day one into Reflex. And oh yeah, by the way, because I did buy into Reflex, they asked me to do some promotional content, which I'm refusing here. So I got a free code. So here you go. You get a free code so you can try out the game and, add one, little person to the server roster, so maybe the whole 3 people are going to be playing today. Anyways, yeah, get that code, have fun. And I've played, Reflex Arena since early access. I've tried out a bunch of other, free-to-play arena shooters, and a lot of them are complete clones, right? Reflex is kind of a clone, but the other ones are literally they have, textures and everything that emulate or are actual copied from Quake and stuff like that. And yet those games would offer stuff like a campaign, you can custom created campaigns, or there's co-op play, or, some weird stuff like that, and custom maps and things like that. But like Reflex doesn't have anything above and beyond, and it's not a free-to-play game, it's going to be a purchased game, and I feel similarly to Toxic, it might eventually do a demo thing where maybe it will go free-to-play. I really just don't see this game really truly surviving. So yeah, it's been almost 3 years? Yeah, it's been 2 years, sorry. It's been a little over 2 years since Reflex Arena was launched on early access, and since then, its graphics it doesn't seem like it's really changed that much. It may be a lot of under the hood, tightening of the game, which is really good. The game is focused on competitive play, but still I find myself not really running the game optimally all the time. It actually does have hiccups for some reason. Of course, maybe that's because of the custom map creator, or how the maps are created and stuff like that, but still, in an arena shooter, I have a GTX 970, by the way, with a Core i7 clocked at 3.6 gigahertz, so keep that in mind. This is a pretty good PC that I got here, okay? And that's even when I'm not recording or streaming or anything. It's just, I'm playing the game, and it's not really running super duper good. Now, maybe it's hit or miss, I don't know, but for the way the game looks, it just doesn't look like it has that much creativity involved. I mean, even if you look at the competitor that's coming out called Diabolical, which also uses robots and stuff, that looks like it's got a little bit more personality. Even the Unreal Tournament, which is in, early access, and I would say it's pretty early in development here, it's still got a little bit more character than Reflex. Then again, that's Epic Games. They're a much bigger studio, so maybe that's not fair. Diabolical also has a lot of experienced people, but I'm pretty sure that's indie, it's Kickstartered, so there's Diabolical, and then on in the future, we also have Quake Champions, which is probably just gonna completely snuff out Reflex. In fact, it's probably because Quake Champions is so close and near on the horizon that Reflex decided to finally launch. I'm unsure about that, but all I know is that when it comes to me looking forward to games and suggesting games to other people, Reflex is just probably the single most bland arena shooter that I can think of in a genre that is so niche and is so desperate for, trying to do new ideas or having new looks, just at least have an interesting aesthetic. Quake was so gory and epic and metal, and you know what I'm saying? And Diabolical looks funny as shit, but Reflex is just really, really vanilla for a genre that is the exact opposite of vanilla. So that's what I have to say about the game. Oh yeah, you didn't really hear me talk about the weapons and everything, but yeah, they're just, if you've played any other arena shooter, you kind of know how these weapons work, really, and that's just how it is. And I can't really go in depth about the movement mechanics because I haven't mastered them myself. Well, Scott, how can you do a review when you haven't the game's hard, dude. Fuck, dude, it's hard. Okay? There are some cool ideas and things like that, but I'm more interested in, I guess, more unique and creative ideas when it comes to, different classes, characters, unique weapons that fire, uniquely, or maybe more unique movement options, like in Titanfall. Titanfall is a unique game. The way the new, like Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty, the way that does, though it's kind of emulated from Titanfall, you know what I'm saying? And also, Quake, just if we're gonna use Quake, even Quake Champions, the new game with Quake lineage is actually adding in new components, new creative ideas, and it still has a more interesting and tasteful aesthetic. So Reflex, for its price, I don't know. Not really feeling it. I don't regret buying into it because, I don't know, it's still kind of fun, but I can't suggest it to the average player. So there's that. It's just vanilla. Reflex Arena. Yeah. Basically, they took kind of other people's ideas and they ran with it as if it was their own game, and they didn't really stylize it in any unique way. There is a game here to be played, but for most people, they won't be playing it. And, you know, that kind of is cyclical. So if there's not many people playing it, then less and less people will buy into it, and so on and so forth. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Skylent. If you counted this as a full review or not, whatever, that's my thoughts and feelings on Reflex. I turned down their promotional content, so here's a free key so you can try it. And if you guys think I'm wrong or just hate me and think I need to get good, please let me know in the comments below. But just know that for the vast majority of players, you will feel the same as me. Thanks for watching. Have fun, guys. My name's Skylent. I'll see you in the next one.